wait is almost over. Husker football is back, live from Kansas City.
I think it's Arrowhead. Arrowhead seems like part of our DNA. I expect to have the same home game intensity.
Head coach Matt Rhule isn't shying away from the moment, expressing confidence in his team and the Husker faithful. Plus, defensive line coach Terry Braden returns to Arrowhead for the first time since helping the Chiefs win 3 Super Bowl titles.
This is going to be a surreal moment.
And with something to prove.
I mean, we're building something special here at Nebraska.
There's a new voice of Husker football.
You hope it's going to have college football playoff implications.
His message to fans, following in the footsteps of the late Greg Sharp.
Getting the fans to trust you, trust what you're about, that you're a Husker and you bleed it.
It's the Big Red Zone. This is the KC Classic Countdown, live on KETV. Beautiful night for football. It's the season opener. Nebraska and Cincinnati in the KC Classic at Arrowhead Stadium. Husker fans getting ready for kickoff, getting their game faces on, tailgating in the parking lot. And hello again, everybody. Welcome to the 2025 football season. I'm Andy Kendi, live from Arrowhead Stadium. It's the 136th season of Husker football, and it kicks off in one of the more unlikely venues they've done in recent years, Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City, and we have you covered. Check this out. Bill Shammert's outside with the tailgaters and so many thousands of Husker fans. Lauren Michelson will join me on the field as well. And Matt Tatilli's back at the KETV studios in Omaha. Now, Matt Rhule said it in the summer that it's winning time. It's his third year at Nebraska, and Nebraska's coming off their first winning season in 8 years and their first bowl win in 9 years. And they rebuilt the roster, rebuilt the culture. In fact, when building programs in the past, one of the big hurdles to clear is having the team expect to win rather than want to win. And Matt Rhule says he believes his team's ready to take the next step.
The difference between like winning programs and losing programs, once you get the talent close and all that, a lot of times is that mentality, right? That is the place that we're at. Once you flip that, things flip, if we're being honest. Now you need players who have that level of expectation. Like Ja'Cory Barney, I can tell you this, Ja'Cory Barney doesn't go in there like nervous, like I don't know if we're going to win. Like he goes in there expecting to win. I think the biggest piece is like getting guys to stop thinking about winning and start thinking about playing to a standard. Who are we going to be when we're down 17 in the fourth quarter? The great teams, they have a smile on their face and they say, let's go win the ball game. And that's where we're working towards.
Yeah, Nebraska favored by a touchdown tonight against Cincinnati. And Matt Rhule has a history of double-digit wins in year 3 at the college level. He did it at Temple. He went 10-4 in year 3. Did it again at Baylor, going 11-3. Can he do it again at Nebraska? Well, it all starts tonight against Cincinnati. Well, certainly a unique setting for this year's opener, and there are thousands of Husker fans that will be in attendance. And one of the man of the people, Bill Shammert, is standing by live outside with the tailgaters. Hey, Bill.
I'll take that. A man of the people, Andy. I like it. Thank you. You guys ready for this? All right. Well, this game was originally supposed to be played in Cincinnati. Then it was supposed to be played in Indianapolis. And then the Chiefs are like, you know, I think we want this game. So it got moved to Arrowhead. What a perfect venue as they try to launch college football games here, picking a team just 3 hours up I-29.
It's been overwhelming, but not surprising, right? That's one of the reasons we did what we did, is we were counting on the loyalty of those fans and the opportunity to come experience their team at our stadium. And GHA Field and Arrowhead Stadium is unique in its own way. I think that one of the things I was really excited about is we get to showcase all of it. So we get the tailgating, we get the outdoor experience, we get a college football game that should be really compelling, first game of the year.
That's Kansas City Chiefs president Mark Donovan. He tells me that they would like to make this a yearly tradition with teams from across college football, but judging by the turnout of Nebraska fans, don't be surprised if they call Lincoln a few years away from this. Andy, we'll send it back to you for now.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Bill certainly is a man of the people tonight. And think about all those Husker fans still trying to get into the parking lot. I heard traffic was a bear today to get down here to Kansas City. But no doubt a national stage for Dylan Raiola, who starts his sophomore season tonight. And he is not shy when stating his expectations for himself and his team.
We'd be setting the bar low if we weren't trying to shoot for a national championship. So that's what we've been setting our sights on, and that's the only thing that we're looking at getting right now.
What has to happen to get in that position?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to the winning moments, and when it's time to make a play, our guys will be ready to make those plays. And yeah, we just got to stick together, keep fighting, and just know that we just got to hang in the games. And when it comes down to time to make a play, our guys know what time it is.
If you look in the crystal ball, do you think you're going to have more targets to running backs or tight ends this year?
I don't know, because both of those positions can run and catch. So we'll see. I don't know. I think if we get both of them rolling, we'll be a pretty explosive offense.
I saw you taking a look at the Heisman Trophy. How much has that been a thought in your mind growing up, and now you could really make a push at being a contender for that award?
Yeah, that's a dream of mine. You know, every day I look at it on my phone. It's my screensaver. It's national championship, and you open my phone, and then it's a Heisman Trophy. So I've been working toward that all year. But, you know, at the end of the day, if we're winning a national championship, I have a good feeling about being able to, you know, win a Heisman.
How much of a priority has leadership been in this offseason, and how has that evolved for you, that role?
Yeah, it's a big thing that I took, you know, onto myself, and to just grow this team together. You know, when things get hard in the season, you want to be able to lean to your guy left, lean to your guy right, and know that they're going to have your back. So just building that leadership from January on, and we're going to continue building it. So I'm excited to see where it keeps going.
Yeah, it's Dylan Raiola, solid freshman season, 2,819 passing yards, second most by a true freshman in Big Ten Conference history. Raiola, 13 touchdown passes, 11 picks last fall. Now, Raiola, one of the 6 captains as voted on by Husker players, the only underclassman as well. The others, senior Dane Key, Henry Lutovsky, Deshaun Singleton, Marcus Buford, and C.R. Wright. This is the first time Matt Rule's named captains before the season. All right. Let's bring in our Big Red Zone insider, Sean Callahan, Husker Online. Sean, first of all, perfect night for football. Is this like a tailor-made game day for Husker football? I got to tell you, Dylan Raiola, all eyes are going to be on number 15. Obviously, he's playing in the stadium with one of his mentors. What kind of season does he need to have, and what kind of start does he need to have?
And by the way, I just saw the other number 15, Patrick Mahomes, on the sidelines here. But for Dylan Raiola, sophomore year for him, obviously a big year. I think Dana Holgerson's the key. I think the stability that he's brought to this offense with an entire offseason is going to go so far in terms of the development of Dylan Raiola in the system. And plus, they've upgraded the weapons around Dylan at receiver and the people that protect him on the offensive line.
Well, let's talk about those weapons. The receiver, you know, they brought in some guys. They still got Ja'Cory Barney, but Dane Key is a guy who's really turned some heads.
Yeah, over the offseason, Nebraska made it a big priority to get a couple A-list portal receivers, Dane Key being the biggest one. They beat Georgia head-to-head. His girlfriend, Andy, goes to Georgia, plays softball. So not an easy win, and they pulled that off. Then they got Isaiah Hunter as well, the number 1 receiver from Cal, along with Cortez Mills, one of the top high school receivers in the country, to go with Ja'Cory Barney.
Let's talk defense. A lot of the defensive backs are names that you know, but the guys up front, you're going to have to look at your program tonight to get the numbers right. Bringing in all these transfers, guys like Marshall, Nwaneri, McCullough, Watson, Trent, that's a big key for this team.
Yeah, you look at just some of those faces. Andrew Marshall steps into a day 1 black shirt. Williams Nwaneri is going to play starting type reps. Marquise Watson Trent was the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year. He'd be one of the all-time leading tacklers at Nebraska based on his tackle numbers previously. So it is a very good group of transfers. They're going to be on a big stage here now, making their Husker debuts.
Yeah, Watson Trent ranks second in active FBS players in terms of total tackles. Now, we know Nebraska is technically the visiting team. They're going to be wearing white jerseys, but it's a home field advantage. What kind of advantage can this crowd be tonight for Nebraska?
Well, this is a different kind of environment because at Memorial Stadium, it's more a traditional, long-time season ticket holder base. This is first come, first serve. Whoever wanted the good seats got the good seats. So you're seeing kind of a younger, more energetic crowd. I mean, I think it's going to be one of the more raucous environments that we've seen, not only by the type of crowd in the stadium, but also just the setting. This is already the loudest stadium in the world, and I think Nebraska fans are going to try to give it a dent tonight.
All right, Sean, the rest of us are going to give predictions on the game and of the season record and bowl game later on in the show, but I know you got plenty to do. Let's get your prediction first for the game and then a season record.
All right, I got Nebraska tonight, 34-20. I'm going to lean conservative on my season prediction. I got 8-4. I do think 9 wins, very possible. I'll lean conservatively. I think they end up in the Outback Bowl. I guess the ReliaQuest Bowl.
ReliaQuest Bowl. No more Outback Bowl. They changed the name. Well, that would be a nice way to spend your holidays, spending the holidays down in South Florida. All right, here in Kansas City, Husker fans, as we know, are getting their game faces on, and we have plenty more to come as the KC Classic Countdown continues live from Arrowhead Stadium.
Get a quick